You're not just lacking the experience, honey. You're lacking the pedigree. Look at yourself. We are a global empire, and you look like you just walked off a bus from the middle of nowhere. My office doesn't need your kind of clutter, CEO Marcus. Sterling sneered as he grabbed the folder containing Elena's life's work and tossed it into the trash can with a sickening thud. Elena stood there, her back straight and her eyes calm, even as the secretary stifled a laugh. But 10 minutes later, the heavy mahogany doors swung open, and the legendary Chairman Vanderbilt, a man who owned half the city's skyline, walked in. The room went cold. Marcus rushed forward, his face a mask of fake humility, but Vanderbilt didn't even see him. Instead, the most powerful man in the industry stopped dead in his tracks, his eyes filling with tears of shock. Slowly, in front of the entire staff, the billionaire chairman bowed deeply to the woman Marcus had just insulted. "I have searched for you for 10 years, Vanderbilt whispered, his voice trembling. "My life, my fortune, everything I own belongs to you. Before we continue this incredible story of hidden power and shocking revenge, I want to take a moment to welcome you all. Who are you, and where are you watching us from? Drop your city and country in the comments below. We love seeing how far our community reaches. And if you believe that true character is more important than status, please hit that subscribe button and give this video a big like right now. It helps us bring more of these powerful stories to life. Now let's see how Elena's secret turned a CEO's world upside down. The morning had started like any other for Elena. She had ironed her only professional suit, a modest gray set that had seen better days but was impeccably clean. As a black woman who had spent years working 3 jobs to finish her education while caring for her community, she knew that she had to be twice as good to get half the credit. She wasn't seeking a handout. She was the top graduate of her class, a financial genius who had spent the last decade working quietly in the background. She had been managing the accounts of a small family bakery so perfectly that they had grown into a local franchise. But to Marcus Sterling, she was just an applicant who didn't fit the aesthetic of Sterling Corp. He didn't look at her grades or her references. He saw the color of her skin and the lack of a designer label on her purse and decided she was invisible. Sarah, the receptionist, had even made her wait 3 hours past her interview time. She intentionally forgot to tell Marcus that Elena had arrived, hoping she would just give up and leave. When Elena finally entered the office, the air was thick with arrogance and the scent of expensive cigars. Marcus didn't even invite her to sit. He spent 5 minutes on a personal phone call, bragging about his new yacht. Elena stood patiently, observing the room, her dignity unshaken by his blatant lack of professional courtesy. When he finally looked at her, his expression was one of pure disgust, as if her presence was an insult to the room. He told her that her presence was lowering the property value of his office and that she was wasting his valuable time. He called her a dreamer and told her that people from her neighborhood should be happy with minimum wage. He sneered that she shouldn't be asking for a seat at the executive table where the real power resided. He laughed when he saw her degree from a prestigious university, calling it a participation trophy he assumed she hadn't earned. Elena didn't argue. She didn't scream. She simply asked if he was sure he wanted to make this decision without reviewing her portfolio. Marcus responded by calling security and telling them to escort the trash out before she contaminated the air further. As the guards gripped her arms, the elevator dinged with a sharp, authoritative sound. Out stepped Chairman Vanderbilt, the founder of the firm and a legend in the world of high finance. Marcus's heart skipped a beat. He had been trying to impress the chairman for months to secure a massive promotion. He scurried over like a loyal dog, pointing at Elena and trying to hide her from the chairman's view. "Sir, I am so sorry you had to see this. This woman was trying to scam us for a job," Marcus lied quickly. "I'm having her removed immediately so we can focus on our important meeting," he added, sweating slightly. Vanderbilt's face turned pale. His eyes locked on Elena's face with an intensity that terrified Marcus. He pushed Marcus aside so hard the CEO stumbled against his desk, knocking over his expensive gold pen set. The chairman walked toward Elena, his hands shaking, ignoring everyone else in the bustling office. He remembered a rainy night 10 years ago in a dangerous part of town where his car had broken down in the dark. He had collapsed from a sudden heart attack, lying helpless on the cold, wet pavement as the world rushed by. Dozens of people had driven past him, fearing for their own safety or simply not caring about a stranger in need. But one young woman, a student with nothing but a backpack and a kind heart, had stopped without hesitation. She had performed CPR, her hands steady despite the rain, and called the ambulance that saved his life. She had stayed with him for 6 hours in the hospital, even paying for his initial intake fee with the last of her money. She had left before he woke up, leaving no name, only a small wooden ring she had dropped by accident near his bed. Vanderbilt had spent millions trying to find his guardian angel, hiring investigators who always came up empty-handed. And here she was, being treated like a criminal in his own building by a man he had hired to lead. "Marcus," Vanderbilt said, his voice like cracking ice that silenced every person in the room. "This woman saved my life when I was nothing but a dying man on a sidewalk. She is the reason this company still exists." But the shock didn't end there. Vanderbilt revealed a secret that Marcus was never supposed to know. He had recently been looking for the mysterious owner of the Legacy Trust, a massive and secretive investment fund. This fund held the deed to the land Marcus needed for his billion-dollar expansion project, the one his career depended on. As Vanderbilt looked at the papers Elena had tried to show Marcus, he realized the incredible truth. The small bakery she managed was actually the headquarters of a multi-million-dollar real estate portfolio. She had built it from scratch for her community, using her genius to protect those who had nothing. She wasn't just an applicant. She was the person who held Marcus's entire career and future in her hands. Marcus's face went from white to a sickly shade of green as the reality of his mistake crashed down on him. He fell to his knees, stuttering apologies, promising her the highest salary and any office she desired. Elena looked down at him, not with hatred, but with a cold, piercing clarity that made him wither. She told him that a man who only respects those he fears is a man who deserves no respect at all. She announced that as the owner of the land, she was pulling the contract and ending the partnership immediately. She was converting the space into a community center and a tuition-free business school for underprivileged students. Vanderbilt smiled, tears in his eyes, and told her he would personally fund the entire project to honor her. He then turned to Marcus and told him to pack his things, for he was no longer welcome in the empire he helped build. Elena walked out of the building, her head held high, as the new queen of her own destiny. If you enjoyed this story of justice, please subscribe to our channel and like this video. Thank you for watching.